practice for this little speech I'm going to tell you right now, but honestly, I'm going to just have to give it a go because I can't make this perfect in any way. But, you know, you saw that I put out an article talking about how I think defunding the police would be a horrible idea, and it's aligned with a horrible ideology. And I'm not going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about the whole Rayshard Brooks and Garrett Rolfe thing that happened. I think this happened like last week or whatever. So let me get into this. If you guys don't know what the whole situation that went down, Garrett Rolfe and another officer was sent to a Wendy's to talk to a man named Rayshard Brooks that was passed out intoxicated in his car in a Wendy's parking lot. This is something that happens quite a bit, you know. The restaurant owner or whoever sees someone passed out in their car and they're like, okay, I mean, this happens sometimes. So you're supposed to get a policeman there. You're supposed to get an officer there just to make sure what happens, because who knows, this guy could be hurt, you know what I mean? Like he could be drunk in his car. He could be overdosed on heroin. Like, I don't know. It's not a good thing when someone's passed out in their car in a Wendy's parking lot. So Garrett Rolfe and his fellow officer went to that man, which was Rayshard Brooks, and they made him take a sobriety test. And Rayshard Brooks failed the sobriety test. He was intoxicated. He was very intoxicated on the sobriety test, and because there was no reasonable doubt that he drank the beer in the Wendy's parking lot, it means that he was driving under the influence of alcohol. He blew higher than a .08. So that means he was drunk driving, which is illegal in all states in America. So at that point, you don't just send him on his way. You have to arrest people who are drunk driving because it's a crime, you know? Like, I think we can all agree on that. And when Garrett Rolfe and his fellow officer was trying to arrest Rayshard Brooks, there was a little struggle, and Rayshard Brooks, very much so, resisted arrest and started punching and hitting, and he quite literally dropped an officer on the officer's head on the pavement. And this is very dangerous. There's been people that have been very critically injured by getting dropped 3 feet on the pavement and landing on your head. Once the officer landed on his head, there was still a couple more seconds of struggle, and when the officers they were very justified in doing this, they chose to try to tase Rayshard Brooks to calm him down and to make him immobile, because he was quite literally assaulting these police officers. I believe I saw this police officer got hit, like he got punched like 4 times. This guy got punched 3, 4, 5 times. Like, that's a lot of punches right there. At that point, you can almost use deadly force, but he didn't. Garrett Rolfe did not use deadly force. He was going to use a taser because he did not want to kill Rayshard Brooks. I mean, why would you want someone to die over a few punches? So they tried to tase Rayshard Brooks, but that's when Rayshard Brooks grabbed the taser gun from the policeman and tried to run away. He tried to run away with the stolen taser gun from the police officer. And you literally stole a deadly weapon from a police officer. And I will tell you, a taser is a deadly weapon. It can be used as a deadly weapon, and in this case, it definitely was. Because 3 seconds after Rayshard Brooks took off, the police officer, Garrett Rolfe, followed behind him. And that's when Rayshard Brooks took the taser gun and aimed it behind him to shoot at the officer, Garrett Rolfe. Garrett Rolfe, I should say. At this point, not only was he putting the citizens that were in the Wendy's parking lot at risk of getting hit with that taser, he was also putting 2 officers at risk of getting shot with the taser. And let me just tell you, a taser is probably not going to kill you. It doesn't kill you. Police don't kill many people with tasers. I can't think of one person that a policeman's killed with a taser. But I can tell you, a taser will leave you immobile for like 7 seconds. That's enough time for Rayshard Brooks to beat the fuck out of you. And plus, Garrett Rolfe and his fellow officer, he knew that Rayshard Brooks was dangerous because they spent the last 10 seconds getting the fuck beat out of them by this man, by this criminal. You know, in the handbook or wherever it is, police can use deadly force when there is a severe threat that someone is going to cause great bodily damage to someone else or yourself, and that is when you are justly allowed to use deadly force on that criminal trying to hurt you. And that is exactly what Garrett Rolfe did, because of the fact that if he would have been immobile, he would have given Rayshard Brooks 8 seconds to beat the fuck out of him. And that means punching him, kicking him. I mean, he could have killed him easily by stomping on his head. This put Garrett Rolfe in great bodily harm when he had a taser pointed at him and fired a foot above his head. This put him in great harm, and the civilians and the other officer behind him. At that point, Garrett Rolfe made the decision to use deadly force on this criminal who was using deadly force on Garrett Rolfe. And just as soon as it started, it stopped very quickly. He fired 3 bullets, I believe it was, and the whole violence was gone after that. He did end up killing Rayshard Brooks, but right after that, we do have video evidence of Garrett Rolfe giving him medical attention, repeating the words, "Stay with me, keep on breathing. Stay with me, keep on breathing." I believe it was "Stay with me, keep on breathing." You can look it up if you'd like, if you can somehow find a full video of it, because a lot of news outlets aren't going to allow you to see the whole video because, I don't know, they just don't want you to see the whole video, I guess. But I will say one thing. There's been a lot of lying going on, and I just want to talk about that a little bit as well. The first lie was the lie that Garrett Rolfe kicked Rayshard Brooks, which 100% did not happen. I don't know where they're getting this. I think it's to stir up some sort of controversy with this whole situation, but he literally did not kick Rayshard Brooks. Garrett Rolfe did not kick Rayshard Brooks. You can watch the video and see it for yourself. He did not kick him at any point of the interaction. And people are saying that he kicked him when he was on the ground, struggling to breathe, like struggling to live at this point, because he was still alive because he got shot a couple times. That is the first lie that has been going through the news, and it's just disgusting. And the other humongous lie, and this is what this video is totally about, is what they're charging this justified action from this officer, Garrett Rolfe. Garrett Rolfe is charged with 11 charges, including felony murder, aggravated assault, violation of oath of office. And if he gets convicted of what he's getting charged with, which is felony murder, he will get put on death row. He will die. Like, people will put him to death. If he's convicted of this, he's literally going to be put to death by the hands of the government. I think this is so crazy. Felony murder. A lot of you may not know what felony murder is, but felony murder can be described as this. To get charged with felony murder, you have to be doing a felony in progress. Like, you have to be committing a crime. What crime was this cop facing? Like, what was he doing? What was this cop doing? Arresting a man who was supposed to be drunk driving? Is that what he was supposed to be doing as a felony? At no point in the interaction did he commit a felony. And then on the felony, they're charging him with murder, which means that he was not justified in using deadly force, which he clearly from the video was. He was clearly justified of protecting himself, his officer, and the people at the parking lot. He was protecting the lives of people that were trying to do good. Yeah. So this is it. This is the climax of this. What pisses me off the most is that policemen are they're by law now not allowed to use deadly force in any case scenario. If someone is shooting at a police officer, this means that police officers have to fear death if they shoot back. Police officers have no right now to use deadly force to protect themselves. I mean, these guys are already getting killed at unbelievable rates. I mean, on the rate of a police officer killing an unarmed black man, whether or not he's like committing a crime or not, cops are 18 times more likely to be killed by people shooting at them than as opposed to a unarmed black man getting shot by police. This is not okay. This is not okay. Cops have it hard enough. You cannot put them on death row for doing their job. I mean, this is just unbelievable because yes, you know, like, this is a cop we're talking about, but what's next? Like, your Second Amendment right to defend yourself? That's what's going on next. If this cop gets convicted of felony murder by doing the right thing, America is not going to be America anymore. You have to be afraid of dying by doing the right thing. I don't understand why that's so hard. I don't know why that's so hard to do. I mean, what if that guy was like your dad? You know what I mean? Like, you're basically seeing your dad, like, die. Basically getting put on death row. Like, what if that was your dad? What if that was your, like, brother or something? I mean, I have a really good friend who's trained to be a police officer. You know what I mean? Like, that could be him. Like, this is bullshit. Like, I am a very strong believer that America is the best country in the world. And in America, you shall not be afraid to defend yourself if you are in the right. If you are justly defending yourself, you should have nothing to worry about. And this case right here is the difference between being unbelievably fearful for your life whenever you try to defend yourself and staying free, remaining free. This Garrett Rolfe and Rayshard Brooks case is just, you know, it's gotten so much attention. And a lot of the attention has been taken ways that it probably shouldn't be taken. For example, after this happened, guess what the mob did? The mob burned down the frickin' Wendy's that the crime took place in. These are bad people. These are rioters. These are bad people who don't know the truth. And what I just think is so crazy is that people are trying to appease the mob. They're trying to appease the mob. Where have been the vast majority of Democratic and Republican leaders in our nation? Like, more importantly, where are the leaders that want true equality, true justice? This is not justice being done on this officer right now because he was just in using his action. Where's the president? Where's the president condemning this? I'm a big Trump guy. Why is he trying to appease the mob by not talking about this horrible situation? Where's the church in this? Like these are things that you gotta have like, you know, these people in charge need to be accountable for this. You know what I mean? You look up to these people. Where are the people that are in charge? Where are they condemning heinous crimes like what we're seeing right here with a man getting charged with felony murder for defending himself? And the whole concept of this whole thing is why doing the right thing is so hard. I don't see any other Christians or conservatives standing up for this guy Garrett Rolfe and the whole situation that's going on, because it puts people in such a mindset, you know, like such a fearful mindset, because you can very likely lose your job and lose everything you love and like dear in this world. Like, hell, I'm literally getting death threats. Like, I'm literally getting death threats. You should not be living in fear for doing the right thing and wanting equality and justice for all. It's so hard to do the right thing. And where is everyone else who's trying to do the right thing? I mean, we talked about slavery. Slavery is horrible. You think about, like, if you were around back then, what would you do? You know, you think about, like, the civil rights. Yeah, you think about, like, the civil rights movement, like, where would you be? I'll tell you right where I'll be. I'll be right besides Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., like, freaking preaching for equality, you know what I mean? Like, that's what we would say we would do. But then you get into the position where you find so much turbulence, whether it be, like, through social constructs or when you're, like, fighting the mob, and then, like, there's no one there. Like, there's no one on your side. Like, this is, like, the wrong thing, even though it's the right thing you're putting forth. So I don't want to make this video. This video really sucks. I really don't like making this, but I have to, because, like, this is, like, the right side of history. And I pride myself on a few things. One thing being that I will always stand up for the right thing. And this is unjust, how people are going to charge and possibly convict Garrett Rolfe of felony murder, which is a death sentence. And listen, I just want to get one thing straight before I go into this last point. The cops involved with George Floyd were unbelievably unjust. They had no right in doing what they did to George Floyd. No one agrees that he should have died. George Floyd should still be living today. Those cops were horrible people, and they will pay for what they did to George Floyd. But we need to stop this war on police. It is absolutely horrible. Where I'm from, we respect the police. We almost look up to the police because these are the people preserving our rights, preserving freedom. And these police, they protect us. I don't know about you, but I've had to call the cops a couple times in my life just because of like odds and ends or whatever. But still, I use the police and I respect the police just as much as the next law-abiding citizen. And when we're making police want to quit as much as we are, when we're making people that are aspiring to be police officers not want to be police officers anymore, or when we are making police officers into a bad guy in which they would want to leave their job and quit forever, we are helping to create the worst police force America has ever seen. Because why the hell would you want to work at a place that vilifies you and the people that you help hate you? But anyway, I hope everyone has a good rest of their day. I just had to make this video, and seriously, I hope everyone that watches this, I seriously hope you have a great day or a great night, whatever. Shit's happening, right? But yeah, I want you to take care. I don't mean this as in any form other than a persuasion form and as a fact-based sort of lecture. I don't want to spread hate or anything like that. That's not my intention whatsoever. Literally, there's only love here. You know what I mean? Like, we're just trying to get to the bottom of this situation. So anyway, bye.